Hey, hopefully this is going okay. My name is Jesse. I'm trying to keep myself occupied as I deal with some issues in life. Of course, I haven't been coughing at all this morning, but as soon as I start to talk, I start to cough. So, what is mental health? Freedom from pain. Simple. That's a simple definition. Freedom from pain. We go through a lot in life. Life beats us up pretty good, and it affects how we feel. Even affects certain sensations. Um, Trying to think here. No one is the same, and that's the problem. That we don't have the ability to think about how another person may feel. I hear a lot of stuff that concerns me. A lot of, well, just get over it. It's a mind thing, so just think differently. And that's a good answer actually to pain and suffering and angst and depression and anxiety. And when we use words like anxiety, we're talking about fear. So that is a good answer, but it's not that simplistic. It's a little more complicated than that. You're talking about years of stuff, of disappointments, of abuse. A lot of people who, um, let's look at that situation. Like yesterday in New York Hospital, a doctor shows up with a rifle and starts shooting at people, and that's it. That's all we have. We don't know the guy's history. We don't know how many romantic relationships he failed at, how many jobs he failed at. Was he a victim of child abuse as a child? We don't have any of this information. In fact, attempting to um, guess, it's wrong. But life in itself is encapsulated under certain organizational rules. And we know if X happens, the behavior, then Y happened, the thoughts and emotions that led to the behavior. People who are suffering have been convinced by life that life sucks, that life's unfair, that life is victimizing them. And for the most part, it is. It would be wrong of me to sit here and say life doesn't harm people. Life harms people, and life harms people pretty darn good. Um, and that the important thing, though, is not to be a victim of life. Life can be unfair, and you can be happy. Let me say that again. Life can be unfair, and you can be a happy person. Because ultimately, you're in charge of your thoughts. So that's where the good mental health comes in. And in my opinion, it starts with what we are thinking. And if right now you're hurting, you'll most likely cut yourself off to this information. You'll find a reason not to continue listening. But let me tell you what I believe, what I call positive ideation, positive psychology. I believe we can think ourselves happy. For a believer in it, practice it. Some things in life just don't appeal to me, and I gotta weather the storm. And I'm not a warrior that fights with dignity and grace. I want things done my way, and I want them done right now. So I got to learn patience. As old as I am, you think I would have learned patience by now. But we can talk ourselves out of everything that life has done to us. Everything that life has done to us has convinced us to have a negative opinion. And I'm going to use the language that best describes it. We have the opinion that everything sucks, why bother? And the why bother part is because it's better than the pain that we are feeling. What should we bother to do if we're hurting? If we have uncontrollable suffering, pain? No matter how hard we try, things just don't work out. The first thing that I came to the conclusion was negativity is bad. We're harming ourselves because what we do when we say nothing works, everything sucks, why bother? What we ultimately are doing is we're killing our hope. We're killing our ability to dream and to see things better and to believe in a better day tomorrow. And that's harmful. That's where a lot of the pain and suffering comes from because we basically told ourselves not to believe anymore, not to have hope anymore. And that hurts because ultimately when we say when we convince ourselves that there's no reason to hope, then we convinced ourselves that our reality, such as it is, as ugly and as awful as it is it. We convince ourselves there's nothing that we can do, and we're going to live in this reality for a very long time. And that within itself causes pain and suffering. So, what can we believe in? How do we get away from the negative perspective to a positive perspective? Well, what do we have control over? We have control over our radio and our television, our friends, our family members, and we do have control. Some people try to socialize and they fail. But failing isn't the end. It isn't over because we fail. We're learning. It, I recommend people keep a journal. So in social relationships, if we fail, um, we learn. I did this thing wrong. I tried too hard. I was too needy. I was uh, involving myself in the areas of this friend's life that I didn't have the right to involve myself in. So we learn, and in the next friendship, we learn to scale it back. Good friends know how to listen. Now, you should be getting something from the relationship, of course. Why be a friend? There's nothing wrong with you know, if all you're gonna do is sit there and listen to all your friends talk, you're gonna be a very bored person. It's a two-way street, a two-way interaction. The friend is getting something and you're getting something, and that's the way it should be. So, in life, we can undo the angst, the pain, the suffering from everything that has harmed us by involving fun in our lives. That's the point. That we are in control of being burned out, overwhelmed, depressed, anxious, and we can undo these things by living a life with a positive perspective. Let's say things never change. So you can still enjoy music. You can still enjoy food. You can still enjoy something healthy on television. I'm not able to work right now, and I was watching, and I mentioned that because the only reason I would watch television what is called primetime television is because I have nothing to do the next day. So it doesn't matter what time I wake up, it doesn't matter what time I go to sleep. But I went through the, you know, channel surfing, went through the process of channel surfing. I was, man, television has gotten worse than I thought. And the sad part about it was that even the Christian channels, I can even say that about the Christian channels, but you find some entertainment that could make you laugh, that could make you feel good. And the majority of the garbage on television isn't going to do that. I had to find entertainment that is pleasant and appealing, which I find it strange that I am actually watching this kind of entertainment. But that's life. No, I don't like cliches, but if life throws you lemons, make lemonade. And we have a choice. We can enjoy our day by incorporating fun and not obsessing on the things that have harmed us, or we can sit there and just keep hurting. At some point in time, we're going to have to realize that either we're against what is hurting us or we're for it. As I was thinking of things to say in this video, there's a lot of people who are under the impression that drug addiction is a tragedy, that people are suffering from an illness they don't want to suffer from. And for the most part, there is a percentage of individuals who are going through drug addiction who cannot stop. But the majority, a large part, is enjoying the party. This is their fun. This is their pleasure. This is their thrill. And all of us want adventure in life. All of us want romance in life. All of us want comedy in life. Life has a lot to offer. And all of us want to have a life that's filled with what's good in life. For some people, what is good in life is heroin, it's cocaine, because that's how they socialize. They socialize with other heroin, cocaine, marijuana, alcohol individuals. An addiction is something that really does own you. For a lot of people, it's just a lifestyle. And they're choosing this unhealthy lifestyle. That's the point I'm making. They're choosing an unhealthy lifestyle deliberately. And everything that comes from it, the broken bones, they never have money, they can't keep a job, most can't keep a relationship, and all of that. What happens after the party is pain and suffering. And that's the unhealthy way to live. To live a life of chaos, of destruction. See, I believe in balance. I like a balanced life. I like a healthy life. Like anybody else, I like adventure, comedy, drama, romance, fun. That's the point of this, that we can undo our pain and suffering, our hurt, by incorporating fun in our lives. But then comes the true meditation. What's going on? We have to take stock in our life. We have to be realistic. And we have to look at ourselves and say, ask ourselves, is what is going on in my life reflective of my thoughts, my emotions, and my behaviors? All of us have complaints. All of us wish things were different. All of us want to feel better, feel different than what we are feeling. We don't want to feel the pain. We don't want to feel the hurt. Every single one of us. Like I said before, I don't try to stop coughing anymore. If I told you my life, you wouldn't believe it. But that's what we have to do. I had to, a very long time ago, ask myself, is what I am going through the result of the person I am or the people around me? Or even life itself? I, I think all people, when things don't work out, get a little upset. It's okay to be upset. And if things continue not to work out, we even get sad and depressed. And sometimes we get angry and violent. I was thinking about, this bugs me because it really is a tragedy. People who respond to bullying and the response is suicide. There's nothing on the other end. There's no answer to pain. There's just death. I'm a religious person. I believe in God. And if you don't know Jesus Christ and you take your life, the hell that you think you're living now is nothing compared to the real hell you're going to be in. And I would like people to know that it's not a criticism. It's not a criticism. I'm not attacking you. I'm not judging you. A lot of times when we are confronting mental health challenges, we do feel rather self-conscious. We believe that people can read our thoughts and are aware of our personal internal war. And for the most part, human behavior is not hard to decode. For the most part. Now, no one can read minds. This doctor that went in and killed people, no one can read his mind. We can evaluate his behavior, but we cannot read his mind. But when you're sad, people can see you're sad. When you're agitated and anxious, people can see you're agitated and anxious. They're physical, there's behaviors beyond crying, you know. Um, every time I see a person complaining, arguing with a store employee, and it's one of those things that, yeah, I'm a customer. You shouldn't be making me upset. But it's not that much where the police need to show up. And that's a sign of poor mental health. And I think that the goal is that we all want to be at peace. Definitely, we all want to be loved in one way or another, by a friend, by family members, by a romantic interest. I don't need my coffee, now I'm going to sneeze. Yes, now. But again, starting at the beginning. Well, let me go ahead and do my lecture on personality development. Because there's a reason why you are who you are. You took a walk through life. You encountered people. You encountered parents, uncles, aunts, friends when you were a child, when you were a tween, don't know what a tween is, but when you were a tween, or a teen, young adult. So you took a journey. And whether you're 11 years old, 21 years old, 15 years old, you're in a journey. And you're confronting elements of your society, of your environment, people. I really should say just people. And those people are unique in themselves. And some people are friendly, even though this world really is a world of unfriendly people. Some people are not. And through your interactions with life, disappointments in school, in careers, with friends, with romantic interests, This journey has loaded you up with attitude and with emotion. I have to acknowledge God. So if people don't want to believe in God, that's fine. But the reality is that I can tell you now, after all the articles and all the meditation that I have done in life, by meditating, I mean investigating how people behave and why they behave that way. You don't need to be a professor at a university to be the only person that uses his mind and questions what's going on around them. So, if God is real, the other guy and his angels are real. And in personality formation, in personality development, the Satan and his demons or angels or devils, what you want to call them, are there. And we ourselves are evidence of it because we want to do good, but we do bad. Every single person right now who's part of the modern experience who's seeking pleasure, you could literally just say that the majority of people alive today are pleasure junkies. You're watching cat videos and dog videos to get a rush, to get a thrill, almost like a drug addict. You're, you know, hanging with the homies after work for a thrill. You know you should be home resting. You know you're going to be exhausted tomorrow because you didn't rest and you're at work fighting this exhaustion. Well, eventually will lead to depression and anxiety. I mean, you're not a machine. You can only, burn the candle at both ends before it becomes a problem. But again, good mental health, bad mental health. In personality formation, personality development, we have to fight these unseen forces that are telling us we're ugly, that are telling us we're stupid, that are telling us we're incompetent, that are getting us to fight with our neighbor. A lot of what the human experience affords is just as simple as a wolf pack. You have the alpha male who's always going after the runt. And because the alpha male goes after the runt, the other wolves in the pack also go after the runt. And that's life. Two people look at each other, and instead of a friendly, neighborly smile, hello, they start to punk up. The old, what you looking at? And they start to feel a sense to fight. That's a big thing of the human experience. It's not a neighborly hello. If you manage to make eye contact with somebody, you're be prepared to get attacked. And that's our world. And that's because it's part of us and it's part of them. So in personal development, what I call the seductive whispers of Satan are there. You're an alcoholic, you shouldn't have alcohol in your home, but you bring alcohol knowing you're going to drink it. Same with drugs. You know that a personal sexual partner isn't giving you what you need, but you still call him or her, even though after the fact, you're going to feel completely overwhelmed. That's part of the human experience, part of personality development as it relates to Satan and his devils. So we're at an internal war between good and evil. What is good? Innocence is good. Righteousness is good. Nice, kind, pleasant. Seeing life as something delicious, savory, beautiful. That's good. Road rage, not that good. You don't have to respond to it. So I think I made the point that we're in a constant struggle between good and evil in our own minds, in our own personal lives. And it contributes to how we feel. It contributes to our pain and suffering because we want A, but we're always getting B. And that disappointment leads to strife, stress, which can lead to depression, can lead to anxiety, can lead to depression and anxiety. We may have been moving on from in personality formation, moving away from the war between good and evil. There were people in our lives, and um, some of those people sexually abused. Some fathers sexually abuse their daughters, their sons. Same for mothers, same for uncles, friends of the family. That can be very detrimental. No, that is very detrimental. That's responsible for a lot of pain and suffering. So you as a person right now who wants to be free of pain are in the personal dynamic of your thoughts and your emotions still fighting the abuse. You may have moved out of the house. You may have run away. You may have gone on to be a successful professional, but you never resolved all that pain, all that anguish. Now, I'm not here to, you know, for people to experience what they cannot experience, become overwhelmed, and then think that they need to take their lives. Death is not an answer. Life is an answer. Death is not an answer. But from sexual abuse or physical abuse or mental abuse, life itself can be rather abusive. So as you're forming your attitudes and the emotions related to those attitudes, you're interacting with life and forming new attitudes and new emotions. And if you're in a point in time in your life where you say, nothing works, everything sucks, why bother? It's because of your failures, your disappointments, and the abuses you receive. I was again watching Dr. Phil, and this is sad. A young woman uh, in a relationship with a man who uses her as a punching bag, and you would think that most people would walk away. You would think that most people would walk away. But what I was noting, or at least taking note of, is that this woman had very superficial dreams. She wanted to be a star. She didn't want to be happy. She didn't want to be surrounded by people who love her. She didn't want to be at peace. She didn't want freedom from pain and suffering by incorporating fun in her life and looking what is good in life. No, she wanted to be a star. She wanted to be looked at. Her personal high was that people revered her as someone famous. And of course, the boyfriend plays a part in that mental dynamic. And that's sad because no matter what your profession is, you as an individual, as a person, can be happy. You can have peace, you can have joy, you can have love, you can have fun, you can have freedom from pain and suffering, from hurt. And we have to untangle everything that happened to us or is happening to us, but we have to do it in a healthy way. We have to do it in a healthy manner. We can't, well, we can because life is about choices. We choose the positive or we choose the negative. We choose fun stuff, healthy stuff as entertainment, as diversion, as nurturing, as nutrition, or we choose the bad stuff. Life is about choices. So we've gone from in personal development from Satan and his enemies, how our thoughts are formed through interacting with our environment, which lead to attitudes, which lead to emotions. I mean, if you understand life, you understand humans, people. You understand modern human in his or her chaotic life, in his or her life of rage and anger, in his or her life of psychosis, of having a different philosophy, a wrong philosophy. That's psychosis. Losing touch with reality. The reality of being a man, the reality of being a woman, the reality of being a father, the reality of being a mother, the reality of being an employee, the reality of being an individual person. Losing touch with reality. We were built, we were created, and we were created to accomplish certain tasks. And when we don't accomplish those tasks, when we don't, when we're not a father and a mother who is holding down a good home, who is not bored by the routine of life, we're going to be reminded. We're going to be, okay, let's use the word nagged, spiritually nagged, until we are in a marriage, until we are producing children, until our home is clean, and we're teaching good values to our offspring. Because that's what we were made for. I mean, in personal development, God is there. And you may want to be a nurse and travel and whatever, and no matter how hard you try, you can't find freedom. You try, but you cannot find it. Freedom from pain, from angst, from depression, from anxiety. Freedom, people cannot sit still. All I do is operate a taxi. But let me tell you, people cannot sit still. The 10 minutes that it takes to get from where I pick them up to where I take them, they gotta be asking 101 questions. They're poking, they're sticking their fingers in the air vents. They're rolling the window down, rolling the window up. And if nothing in the taxi entertains them, they pull out their cell phone and call somebody, bug somebody. People cannot sit still. That's the society, that's the humans that are being built in the modern world. People can't read books, listen to quiet music. They gotta be doing something, engaged in something, watching a television program, watching YouTube videos. Again, this is not a judgment. This is an attempt to give quality information on how people can deal with their pain and suffering. You can. You're strong enough. You're wise enough to put your life in order, to organize your thoughts, to start thinking good thoughts, pleasant thoughts, nice thoughts, kind thoughts, to have a life of balance where you have friends and you have family and you have good entertainment on television, good entertainment on radio that builds your spirit. Purity and righteousness is very important in mental health. Let me say that again. Purity and righteousness is very important in mental health. Not sinning is very important in mental health. So you have Satan interacting with people in our environment, and then life itself forms attitudes and emotions, and we're looking at life according to what we think we've seen. We're looking at life according to what we think we have seen. We only think that life is one way because we have convinced ourselves that it's that way. Again, we can suffer, we can hurt, we can struggle. Doesn't mean we can't be happy. Doesn't mean we can't have joy. Doesn't mean we can't have a healthy spirit. It is a choice to undo the negative with the positive, to be grateful for what we have and enjoy it. We have a radio, we have a television, we have some friends, we have some family members, maybe a dog, maybe a cat, the Bible, God. Can we take the good out of that, make it fun, and instead of sitting there and just running through in our mind our pain and suffering, can we start to enjoy life by doing something other than obsessing on our depression and our anxiety? And let me tell you that we are strong enough, we are powerful enough, we can control our thoughts and we can control our emotions. It takes time. Every day, every day you have to remind yourself to be healthy, to think healthy thoughts. And if you're overwhelmed, it's okay. The world's not going to end. Let those emotions pass through. You just keep focusing on what's good. And yes, sometimes you do have to cry. There's nothing wrong with it. Sometimes you just have to cry. Sometimes life is that overwhelming. But you'll realize that if you start controlling your thoughts and thinking positive thoughts, you'll start to have good emotions. And you'll start to have good behaviors. You won't need the drugs. You won't need the alcohol. You won't need the fornication or the adultery or the pornography. Um, you'll be a man of peace. You'll be a woman of peace. You'll be humble. You'll be meek. You'll enjoy your pleasant, kind, basic, simple life. Other people may need to aspire to win NASCAR races. Other people may want to win tennis championships. You'll just be happy that you're alive, that you can enjoy this good meal, or this good fruit, or this good book, or this good conversation with a friend, or this good conversation with a family member. Life does have a lot to offer. We are in a crisis as a race. For some people, changing the negative to the positive is the least of their concerns. The soldiers that are killing them and their friends and neighbors and family members, it's basic survival. For the majority of the part of the world, is basic survival. And here we live in the United States of America, which is not overrun by murdering thugs in police uniforms or military uniforms. And we can't get in touch with the basics. We can't get in touch with what's good in life, what's pleasant in life. We gotta, I, well, I don't believe in wasting, but I was gonna say, we gotta throw our electronic devices into the garbage cans and start dealing with human beings. But I don't think people know how to they've forgotten the basics. I always feel like I'm under attack. Whether I'm standing outside my taxi waiting for a customer, with the customer inside the taxi operator, I feel like I'm under attack. Judgmental questions, criticisms. I don't hide from my politics. I shouldn't have to. Uh, what people believe is wrong, but they have the right, I guess, to believe it. And I tell people, as soon as I'm okay inside my home, but as soon as I go out in the public or out in public, it's conflict. Just getting to the job site, it's war. People are using their vehicles as missiles, as rockets. They're trying to harm, they are deliberately trying to harm people. Not at peace. And life continues, life goes on. There'll be tomorrow. There may be 100 years down the road. Life continues, life goes on. How are we going to, you know, spend the journey? Are we going to spend it in pain and suffering, and depression and anxiety? It's not a judgment. I don't know why I feel a need to continue to say that. It is not a judgment. I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm just helping you, offering you my wisdom. So let's begin at the beginning. Everybody wants to have freedom from pain and suffering. I say incorporate fun in your day. Be a positive person. Be a kind person. Be a pleasant person. Be a person who focuses on you, focuses on yourself, and leaves your neighbor alone. How hard is that? You wake up, a little enjoyable music. Maybe you record a program you want to watch. You enjoy it. You have a pleasant, kind, nice meal, whatever it is, with your favorite beverage. You get to wherever your friends are, and instead of the vulgarity, nice, pleasant, unoffensive conversation. Nothing negative. You don't criticize the people around you. You don't give bad looks to the people around you. You just focus on having a pleasant day. You interact, you do what you do, and as you're interacting with people, you're a kind, pleasant person. People are not going to be kind, people are not going to be pleasant to you. That's their problem. You focus on being a man of peace or a woman of peace, focusing on the fact that it's going to help you. It's a personal benefit not to let others agitate you. And then after you're done your day, on your way home, yes, there's going to be some crazy jerks, even some criminals, but you stay awake, aware of your surroundings, and you prepare to do what is necessary to save yourself. Arguing with people isn't a smart thing. Walking away from people who want to argue with you, that's a very smart thing. Driving home in a locked vehicle, very smart thing. Getting to your home and locking yourself up inside your home, very smart thing. Then you get home, maybe do a little meditating. You review your day. This went well, this didn't go that well. And if you're a person who doesn't have that, who for the most part stays home, you can enjoy your home. Again, you can enjoy music. And when these thoughts start wandering into your mind, instead of letting them overwhelm you, you focus on different thoughts, healthier thoughts, more positive thoughts. And if you do this, I know I'm confident that you can be free from pain and suffering. It's a thought proposition. If we're thinking negative thoughts, we're going to have negative emotions. If we're thinking positive thoughts, we're going to have positive emotions. Now, what about boredom? A lot of times, the pain and suffering comes from not knowing what to do. When we were children, we knew exactly how to play, have fun, occupy time. We're pretty good at it. We had to be yelled at to come inside. The sun going down didn't mean a darn thing to us. We were going to yell and scream like crazy people till the sun came back up again. When we were young, we knew how to have fun. We knew what music we liked. We knew what television programs we liked. We knew what books we liked to read. We knew how to have fun. We knew how to ride bicycles, go to the park, play with friends, basketball, football, baseball. Now as adults, and again, if life beats you up, you're gonna have, it's understandable you're gonna have a certain nature. But don't let that nature overwhelm you. Don't let that nature take control of your life. Believe in yourself. I mean, that's the reason I have hope. I said this before. The reason to have hope is to believe in yourself. Because you are in control. And you can change your thoughts. And you can change your behaviors. And you can start taking advantage of what you have. And enjoying it. And making life a pleasant thing to do. It doesn't have to be a torturous hell. Is it that easy? Yes, it's that easy. Is it hard after 20 years of abuse from whatever source to wake up one day and start being positive? Yeah. 20 years, 30 years, even 40 years of conditioning towards the negative is going to be rather challenging to overcome. It's not impossible, and you're in charge. Now, I haven't spoken on something that I always speak on, which is the biochemistry in the brain. Some of us were given, okay, better, some of us just have a bad body. It's not like other people's bodies. There are imbalances of neurotransmitters. And because of that imbalance in neurotransmitters, we feel things we don't want to feel. Can you relax? Sure you can. If your own body is your own enemy, you can figure out how to relax. And you can still have good thoughts. And you can still be positive. And you can still be healthy. And you can still be a kind person. A lot of human conflict is defensive mechanisms. Satan tells you you have no reason to believe anything, but Satan tells you your neighbor is your enemy. You have to hate them. You have to give them dirty looks. You have to sneer at them. You have to say, you have to make stupid comments. That's what the enemy tells you. You don't have to do it. Now, I will tell you by personal experience, because I do receive a lot of animosity with all this political stuff about, you know, building a wall and making Mexico pay for it, and the resistance by Americans against people from Mexico entering this country legally. I get a lot of animosity because people think I'm white. And I don't have a problem with that. As I've said before, I'd rather be considered white than brown. I'd rather be considered smart than stupid. I'd rather be considered informed than ignorant. I'd rather be a law-abiding person than a criminal. The modern people are a product of their television, of their news programs, of the lies in the media. Society, see, mental health incorporates the society we live in. And the society we live in gives a lot of negative information. And our emotions are related to the attitudes of negativity. One, because of how we confront life, our disappointments. And two, by the perceptions and impressions that we get from the media. And the media lies. You're better off a free person. This is incorporated into mental health. You are better off as a free person. You're better off making choices for yourself, going to apply and taking the job that you're offered, and using that money for yourself. And if one job doesn't give you enough, there's nothing wrong with having a second job. I know we all want to be home in bed, lazy, doesn't pay the bills, it's unhealthy. But if you have a healthy attitude about life, you'll have a healthy attitude about your job. You'll smile, you'll whistle while you work. All of this is related. The biochemistry in the brain, our attitudes, the jobs in our society, the politicians, the newscasters, all of it is related. It and for the most part of it, all of that is garbage. I try not to listen to radio in El Paso, Texas, because it is garbage. I listen a lot to Christian radio, and Christian radio is not garbage. Like I said, I surfed through the television yesterday, and man, I cannot believe people are watching this, or maybe they're not. Maybe they are on the internet looking for cat and dog videos. But you can find stuff. I find a lot of stuff that it isn't garbage, it isn't poisoning my brain, it isn't giving me negative attitudes, it isn't making me hate my neighbor, it's keeping me balanced to the extent that I can be balanced. We're human beings. We're gonna experience. You can be the best trained person in positive psychology, have Jesus Christ in your life. You're gonna have bad days. You're gonna do something you wish you hadn't done, or say something you wish you hadn't said, maybe to a friend or family. You're not perfect. Part of life is confronting our own personal failures and doing it with dignity and grace. Maybe being the type of person that can say, I'm sorry. And it's all in there. And the majority of people who are suffering from extreme depression and anxiety, you are your hope. You can organize your thoughts. You can organize your emotions. You can organize your life. You can be patient. You can be realistic and understand this is the life I have. Therefore, this is the life I must live. And I must live it in a healthy way, in a positive way, in a way with hope, with pleasant entertainment, incorporating fun in my life, believing in myself, using my personal abilities to set goals and objectives so I can accomplish what I want to accomplish in life. Instead of beating myself up, I should be talking myself up. I should believe in myself. And I shouldn't get into the mayhem with my neighbors. No drinking, no drugging, no hating other people because they're different. I'm going to say it again. The only time I need to be worried about my neighbor is when my neighbor wants to harm me. And I have to be awake. I have to be paying attention so I can see the threat coming and prepare to deal with it. There are some very bad people in this world. That's part of mental health. People have been raped, and it's led to a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear, a lot of depression. And the way you stop fearing being raped again is you take self-defense courses. You take firearms training courses. And if it should happen again, you're prepared to defend yourself. Not because you're a bad person, not because you want to get even, because you're a good person and you have the right to defend your life. What you have built has value. Why should anybody take it from you? What I have built has value. Why should I let anybody take it from me? It's all part of mental health. It's all part of good mental health. How we think, how we feel, how we interact with society. Yes, some people are not going to, work according to our spirit. That's their problem. You don't have to respond to the crazy people on the road. If you're in that relationship that just doesn't work, it's not going to work, man up. Be smart. Realize the truth. Stop trying to force it. I believe in therapy. I believe when people have honest conversations and working through the challenges. I don't believe in divorce. I'm going to tell you this. If you get divorced out of spite, but you did not resolve, you're going to carry it into another relationship. Until you become a healthy person, until you free yourself from immature, petty, childish attitudes, you're going to keep making the same mistakes over and over again. What you didn't fix in this relationship, you will carry it into the next relationship. And sometimes you just got to be smart enough to say, this is not working. This is not working. And make the smart decisions. There's no reason to be at war in a marriage. There isn't. Grown-ups need to be in marriages. Grown-ups keep their homes clean. Grown-ups teach values to their children together. Too many people just let stuff happen. You have to be a values teacher for your children. They're not going to they're not going to learn values if you never teach them values. You should have a notebook of values and a notebook of lessons to teach these values to your children. Games, discussion, conversation, activity, you know. I mean, there's a good reason why your children don't confide in you. It's a very good reason why your children don't confide in you. And it's unhealthy for them. You're starting that road to negativity, to hopelessness, to helplessness. Your bad parenting skills, strategies, yelling and screaming, irrational. What kind of lesson are you teaching by ranting and raving? A calm, quiet person tells a child, what you are doing is wrong. This is why it's wrong. And this is the right way. Okay? You make that a habit from day one. People say children don't understand. Listen, newborns don't understand. They understand. They can't communicate. What you are doing is forming impressions. It's imprinting the child. That little child in her little sleeper, the little bassinet, sees, hears everything going around them. It's going to be imprinted in their long-term memory. That fear and depression is starting from day one if you're a bad parent. If you and your wife are always yelling. If you're not meeting the needs of the child. Changing the child's diaper, making sure the child is not hungry or cold or hot. It's a responsibility. It's a major responsibility to be a parent. Is not just having kids. Children are not pets. You got to do a little more for your child than you do for your dog, than you do for your cat. But it begins on day one. A lot of people say that it begins with the child's in the womb. I don't personally subscribe to that theory or that philosophy, but it does begin when children are interacting with you. Are you a pleasant person? Are you giving your children fun? Are you helping your children understand the challenges of life and how to cope with the challenges of life? You got to talk to your children. Your children have to be confident enough to tell you. Your 8-year-old has to come home and say, Dad, my friend told me to smoke or he was going to hit me. And then don't overreact. Don't go out looking for this little friend who's making your 8-year-old smoke. It's wrong. This is why it's wrong. This is how you do what's right. And it's repetition. You form habits by doing them over and over and over and over again. It's possible to be a good person, a nice person, a kind person, a decent person. All of that is possible. A pleasant person, a person free of pain and suffering, of happy thoughts, of incorporating fun in your life, of believing in yourself, using your personal skills to set goals and objectives to accomplish your dreams. You can believe in yourself. You're strong enough. You're wise enough. stop thinking life is gonna beat you up. Fight back. Fight back with positive thoughts. Fight back with good thoughts, good emotions. Put things in perspective. Keep things in balance. Don't start taking the punches and developing a self-conscious inferiority complex. Fight back, but you don't fight back in a rational way. You say, okay, it's struggling is a challenge. I wish this challenge wasn't here, but I'm going to work through it. And this is a smart plan to work through this challenge, to work through the relationships at my job site. Or there was a news story yesterday about a guy who walked to work. Sometimes we have to walk to work. Sometimes we have to take the bus. Sometimes we have to ride a bicycle. Sometimes all we can afford is a moped. And sometimes somebody steals our moped. It's life. But we're in charge, and a lot of what happens, a lot of the pain, the suffering, is because of how we interpret things. Yes, the abuse, early childhood abuse has a lot to do with it, but we are the ones who are thinking what we are thinking. And we are the ones letting Satan beat us. We're the ones letting life beat us. We're the ones letting people around us beat us. I'm not saying declare war on all of them. I'm not saying go get yourself a rifle and start shooting people. No. Balance in life. Perspective in life. Positive over negative. Hope over hopelessness. Being a nice person. Heck, it doesn't matter how many people, I try to be a decent person surrounded by indecent people who want to attack. I can let them get to me, or I could realize that the healthier way is to believe in myself and enjoy what I know is good in life. And there's a lot of value in basic, there's a lot of value in simplicity, there's a lot of beauty in basic and simplicity. You don't have to be out there living the life of mayhem, death and destruction, looking for pleasure everywhere. Pleasure is fine, healthy pleasure is fine, but you can get that healthy pleasure from classical music, from beautiful romantic music, from good literature, from the Bible, from God. There's you in your area, television may be garbage, but you can search the internet for movies and television programs you are enjoying and that are not poisoning you with negativity and with hate for your neighbor. It's a big part of the life experience, hating your neighbor. There's no benefit, there's no personal benefit to you whatsoever when you are hating your neighbor. Not one. Better to love your neighbor. Better leave your neighbor alone. No road rage, no craziness on the roads. Stop at the red light, stop at the stop sign, follow the speed limit. Look out for little children, look out for little pets. Be paying attention. Put that phone away. You're going to kill yourself. Texting and driving, you're going to kill yourself, you're going to kill somebody else. It is possible to be a person who's not an alcoholic. It is possible to be a person who's not a drug addict. It is possible to be a person who's not thinking of how much he hates his neighbors and he has to hurt his neighbors. It's possible to be a person of peace, of love, and joy, of fun, of friendship, of family. There's so much good in life, and it's possible to enjoy that life. And it's possible, I'm going to tell you that if you start incorporating fun in your life, you're going to pay attention to what's good, and when you have good thoughts, you have good emotions. Plain and simple. You have good thoughts, you have good emotions. That's your freedom from depression. That's your freedom from anxiety. And you're telling me, but I always have these thoughts. I try hard. Sure you do. If you always have those thoughts, it's because you're always thinking those thoughts. Try thinking something different. Try not thinking how cruel life has been to me. And start thinking, well, how can I enjoy this day? No matter how cruel life is, how can I enjoy this day? What fun things can I find to do? Maybe I'll play with the cat. Maybe I'll play with the dog. Maybe I'll go see a friend. Maybe I'll spend some time with the family. Maybe I'll take a walk to the mountains with pepper spray and a stun gun. It's a lot of stuff to do. A whole bunch of stuff to do. It's up to us. It's our choice. I think I covered every issue, so I'm just going to stop here, and then I'll just review everything, maybe 5 hours from now. I don't know. Again, not a judgment. Trying to give you helpful wisdom that you can use to deal with your life and to have a pleasant life, and be a pleasant person, and be a happy person, a joyful person, a peaceful person, a person who gives love and receives love, a person who can enjoy life, who can have fun, who can be positive, who can have hope. Thank you for listening, and I wish you well.